There's that one point where the mom is like trying to tell the girl to calm down, and the girl sets her arms on fire, and the mom just stands there.
Yep.
With her arms. I'm like, did they not teach you stop, drop, and roll?
I'm pretty sure I don't know what the budget for this film was, but I'm guessing it wasn't a lot. And they said, all right, this is what we can afford. This is what we're going to do because we're not going to do it CGI. So we're going to start your arms and don't move.
We're actually going to start your arms on fire. Yeah. We only got one take.
Yes. Don't move. Keep your arms like this for about 8 seconds, and then we'll get it out.
We'll be good.
Don't move.
Welcome to another episode of Popcorn Bucket List as we enter the second week of May here. We're filming this right around when Doctor Strange comes out, so we don't know what the box office is going to do. But in other news, we have a little bit of a PSA here. We thought we could drop this subject, but apparently keeps running onto the stage.
Yes.
And everything. But a little PSA here. Which is my camera? Here, Miss. I'm going to do this camera here. Just because you don't like what a comedian is saying doesn't mean you can just go on stage. Just because maybe what they said isn't funny to you doesn't mean you get to enact assault.
Yes.
Just leave.
You cannot assault somebody.
Don't do it.
What they say.
That's not cool. That's not cool. All right. Go up to them. Don't even do that because they're performing, whatever. But just leave maybe. In case you haven't figured it out, we're talking about the Chappelle thing. They were doing a stand-up thing. Chris Rock was there as well.
Yep. Yeah.
So
and Jamie Foxx.
Maybe this just sort of thing just follows him.
And
now.
The best part was right after it happened, he said, "Somebody check if that was Will Smith."
Or Will Smith here?
Yeah, it was so funny. It was great.
I guess it's kind of good. Chris Rock's able to joke about this scenario here. I don't know if I would at this point. I'd still be like, "Did that just happen?" But
he's past that.
Yeah, he's over it.
That.
But yeah. I don't know who needs to hear this, but just because you don't like that Bon Jovi isn't playing the old hits doesn't mean you get to go on stage and scissor kick Bon Jovi, all right? That's not how this works. Just because you don't like what we say on this show doesn't mean you get to come down here
and attack us. You can try, though. You can give it. You can try all you want.
Yeah, you don't know what's under this table.
Yeah,
you don't know what I'm packing. Okay, we got over that. Let's get into some movie talk here on this show. That is what it's all about here. We got a few things to talk about here. I'm not going to lie. This bit, and plus, at least your number one recommend, a little bit mine too, I'm going to be honest. It's a little bit more of a darker episode, if I'm going to be completely honest. Starting things off, let's talk about Wednesday on May 11th. Netflix is dropping its true crime documentary, Our Father. I read a little bit of the description, and I was like, I don't want to watch this trailer. And I didn't until you made me watch it.
I did.
And I do not regret my thought of not wanting to watch this trailer. I wish I hadn't.
So you're not going to watch it?
No.
You're not curious?
No.
I'm super curious.
I'll read a HuffPost article about it later or something like that. I don't want to give the guy the notoriety. I don't know how much detail I even want to say about this. To be honest, I don't want to talk about him now. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you're a doctor, I'm not even going to say it.
Yeah. If you've seen Delivery Man.
Okay, yeah. We were talking about this.
Just at a much bigger scale.
It's a much darker and real-life version of Delivery Man. That's all I'm going to say. Let's move on.
Yep.
But then Friday the 13th, perfect timing for this movie. It's Firestarter. This is a Stephen King novel come to life on screen. There's at least 2 of these every year. Some of them work really, really well. Some of them don't. I'm curious to see where this one goes on the balance here. One thing I think that is interesting about this, as we were watching it, I noticed it's essentially Frozen, but with fire.
Yes.
And if Frozen was written by Stephen King and not Walt Disney.
Yes. And taking place in a more realistic world than obviously an animated world.
Yeah. They should have made this a musical, though, like Frozen. And they even had the opportunity because Zac Efron's in it.
Yes.
He does musicals.
Yes, they did. They had a perfect opportunity. Although I could also see this, like watching it and the way it looks, it almost could be like a off-base X-Men origin story. Like
I literally, when I first saw the poster at Marshall 6, when we started hanging it up.
Years ago.
Like, yeah, years ago. It feels like they've been wanting to get this one out for a while.
Yeah.
But I was like, I didn't know they're making a fourth Dark Phoenix movie now. Because even the poster looks like Dark Phoenix and everything. And the powers even look, and they even mentioned like she could be the first superhero. She's the first of her kind.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. So maybe this will extend to a superpowered universe.
You never know.
The Stephen King books are kind of in their own multiverse thing.
Yep.
With what was it? That Last Tower, Dark Tower, whatever it was called. It had Idris Elba, Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, well, in some of his books, he writes in like they a lot of times will take place in similar places, or in a book they'll have reference to one of his other books or an incident at something else. So
they like all take place in Maine.
Yeah,
this one probably also takes place in Maine.
Scary place out there.
Oh yeah.
Scary place.
That's why I never visit Maine.
Nope.
And yeah. But those are the movies coming out this week here. I'm not looking forward to one of them. I'm kind of looking forward to the other one, but I don't know. Let's move into one place you can check Firestarter out is at the Marshall 6 Theater here in Marshall, Minnesota. Still got Doctor Strange as well. Got a few theaters running of that. So you can, if you want to really delve into the mystic arcs and the dark side of it, how about a double feature?
Ooh.
Go check out Firestarter, Doctor Strange, whichever one comes first, doesn't really matter. Yeah. I guarantee you both will include some explosions, man.
And some fire.
A lot of fire, a lot of magic, probably some dimensional things.
Maybe
too.
Zac Efron. Whoa, who knows?
I can confirm Zac Efron is not in Doctor Strange 2.
Well, rats.
No, he's not in. He's not in. But with that, let's move into some number one recommends here. Ryan, I'm going to let you go first because I think I went first last week, but I'm too lazy to check.
So this week, my choice is, well, it's not a recommendation for everyone. Back in 2014, there was an incident with a girl texting another guy. Some things happened. If you're familiar with it, you probably know what I'm talking about. If not, that's all right. So this is a dramatization of those incidences. Incidences.
I think that's a word.
That's a word.
Yeah, that's a word.
It's just a dramatization of it. Gives you more backstory. Obviously, it's very dramatic because they add stuff to make the characters more relatable and like make it into an actual show. And I remember hearing about this when I was in school, back when this happened. So it was kind of interesting to go back and kind of view it from a different perspective now that I'm a little older. Obviously technology was still around, but you're talking 6 years ago, it was very different than it is now. So I would say if you're familiar with this case, I say definitely check it out. It's interesting. The acting's pretty good. It's available on Hulu. The Girl from Plainville.
We're skirting around a lot of subjects here today, and you mentioned you can't necessarily fully recommend to everyone for obvious reasons if you understand the case. That's kind of the same from mine, not as much, but I'm going to recommend Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. The thing I will say is I love the way this universe has done the magic kind of stuff. I think those have been some of the more interesting battles. A lot of the battles in the MCU just ended punching and whatnot, and there's some of that as well too, and that bothers me a little bit. But there was talk going into this. This might be kind of the MCU's first horror movie, and I'm not going to say it's the scariest thing I've ever seen. I'm not going to say it pushes all the boundaries of horror because those are, there's been a lot of boundaries that have been pushed. But I will say for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there were definitely a few moments that made me go, whoa, they really went there on that one. Like, I did not see that one coming. So it's interesting because this might be one of the first ones. It might not be for all ages, this MCU movie. Well, that's going to do it for us here on this episode of Popcorn Bucket List. A little bit shorter because, again, didn't really want to go into details with at least a couple of these things here. If you see the trailers or whatever, you'll kind of know what we're talking about. But For myself and Ryan Meyerberg and Mr. Grogu right here, we'd like to thank you so much for watching, and we will see you at the movie.